Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Seattle Cejudo versus Song. We back with another breakdown of a card that is not bad, but for what it could have been, it's not great. We're out the Apex. We'll start that off at UFC Seattle. First time in Seattle in 10 years, I believe. 10 or 11 years, they keep saying. So that's cool. Love going on the road. So that right there, that's already a W over most fight nights. And the card is okay. I'll show all the cancellations we've had in a minute, but we lost. And just off the top of my head, Steve Garcia, Edson Barboza, Dominic Cruz from the card, Curtis Blades from the card, who else? A few others. So we've lost a lot from the card so far, but we still got 12 fights as of Tuesday. We got another fight booked out of nowhere, and a crazy one at that. But nonetheless, we still got a card in Seattle, and it's okay. So a lot of good on it still. The main event's alright, even if the co-main should be the main event. The main and co are good. The main card's good. The prelims pretty much are good. It's just to see what the card could have been. Ketlin Vieira, Macy Chasson was a good fight we lost. A lot of really good fights we did lose from this card, and it sucks. It fucking sucks, but what can you do? Bad luck. We still got the main and co. We still got Gene Silva. We still got Rob Font, Ibo Aslan, Andre Fili. Bunch of fights. So we still got a 12-fight card. So I'll give the UFC props for at least keeping the card intact and as a big card. And I'm still very excited. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head to Seattle for some goddamn fights. I'm excited, even if the card has fell apart, and, yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't really say much else outside of that. A lot of interesting fights on this card. A lot of favorites should win, I'll say that. There's not really any great upsets that should happen, and I don't think I'm going to tell you anything crazy, but I'm still excited for the card, so I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to stop trying to think of shit to say about the card. I'm excited, even if the card's not great, and especially what it could have been. But it's still better than nothing on a Saturday night in Seattle, Washington. So let's not waste any more time, and let's break down the 12 fights we have heading to Seattle. Before I do, please like, comment, and subscribe. 100 subs, always the goal by the end of the year, because we're never going to hit it, so always be the goal. And, jokes aside, thank you for watching no matter what, sub or not, like or not, dislike, whatever. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a second or an hour of your time, depending on how long you decide to watch this, no matter what. And I'm always gonna appreciate that. Besides that, let's stop rambling. Let's break down some fights. Unless I'm going to say something, which I don't think I am. You ready? I know I am. UFC Seattle. Let's head to Seattle for some fights. I'm ready. Let's dive in. Before I do, again, just to show, God, we lost a lot. Really good fight. Really a great fight. Would like to see him debut. Why did you rebook that? Okay, that fight got better. Pain. Fuck. We could have had, this card could have been so fucking good. But, sadly, we lost some fights, but we still got 12, so whatever. A lot of debuts on this card also, a lot of debuts, so let's see. Let's dive in. 12 fights, and we begin in the light heavyweight division. First of 12 back in Seattle as we begin the night with Modestas, the Baltic Gladiator, Bukauskas versus Raffael, the Lion, Cerqueira, I believe. Cerqueira, I believe is how you say it, or along those lines. Yeah, I didn't say we're starting off with a good fight. Yeah, this fight's not good. This is 2 tomato cans, but you gotta start somewhere on a card, don't you? So we gotta start from the bottom, and then we get to the top. So gotta start low to get high. So let's start as low as you can get with a very bad fight in the light heavyweight division. And let's begin the breakdown with our first fighter of the night, Modestas Bukauskas. Somehow the better of the 2 fighters in this fight, which is impressive when you make Modestas Bukauskas look good. Modestas in the UFC is 4-4. In his first UFC run, he went 1-3, beating Andreas Michelitis, the legend that got his debut against Alex Pereira. And then his other 3 fights before he got cut was Jimmy Crute, Michael Olszewski, and Khalil Roundtree. Got cut 1-2 in a row, came back on short notice against Tyson Pedro, beat him. Then he beat Zach Pounga, lost to Vitor Petrino, which is not aging great. And then he beat Marcin Prachniow in a really good fight in his last fight. The story of Bukauskas' career is just beating these low-level guys in the division. That, like, he's right above these guys. Without these low-level guys for him to beat up on, he would never win a fight. Like, look at his wins. Michelitis, awful. Tyson Pedro, awful. Zach Pounga, awful. Marcin Prachniow, awful. And even show his losses, his only real loss, who's like a good fighter, is Khalil Roundtree. Jimmy Crute fell off a cliff. Michael Olszewski's fucking terrible. And Vitor Petrino's one of the worst fighters on the roster. He's a bodybuilder. So, you know, like, I'll give Modestas respect. He's built a career off beating cans, but goddamn, man, are you ever gonna beat anyone legit? In hindsight, you should have beat Petrino. You probably should have beat Olszewski. Like, goddamn, man. Like, fuck. He's 31 years old, he's not that old yet, and he looks fine against these cans. When he fights these tomato cans, he beats them pretty soundly. He finished Prachniow, he beat fucking a few guys, but just more often than not, he's losing, so... But, again, he's getting to fight another can here, and he should win. It's pretty simple, he's getting another can thrown at him. Maybe the worst one of them all, because fuck, that debut for Raffael was a joke. But, that's about really all I can say about Modestas. He's made a career off beating cans. Is he good? I don't think so. Like, I get he's like a Cage Warriors legend or whatever, because he keeps going over there and winning the belt, which I guess shows how good, Cage Warriors is. But in the UFC, he's beat cans and lost to not many fighters better than cans, so yeah, not really much I can say about Modestas. He's gonna look good against these tomato cans, but against real fighters, he's gonna lose. Good thing here, he's fighting a tomato can, so he should be able to do what he does, fight at range, not really do anything that crazy, and win. So, pretty much what I gotta say about Modestas Bukauskas. To talk about his opponent, Raffael Cerqueira. Raffael in the UFC is 0-1. He was meant to be on Contender Series. He had 3 fights canceled. None because of him, I don't believe. So the UFC just said, fuck it, you're unlucky, we're gonna give you a UFC fight. In his debut, he fought Ibo Aslan, who we'll talk about later, and he literally just stood there and let Ibo knock him out for 50 seconds. I wish I was joking. The fight starts, he backs up against the cage, Ibo just keeps throwing punches, and eventually the ref pulls him off because Raffael didn't throw a goddamn punch, so, you know. Yeah, this guy's a fucking joke. He beat tomato cans on the regional scene. Like, let's look at the record of the guys he was beating. 9-7, 6-3. Like, come on. He's fucking terrible, and he's going to lose this fight and get cut, because, again, he is fucking terrible. 34 years old, 11-1, he's fucking awful. It's that simple. Go back to beating cans on the regional scene. In fucking demo fight night, or whatever. So, yeah, you're not meant for the UFC, buddy. It's that simple. I can't say anything else about a guy who I saw fight for 50 seconds and not throw a punch. So, he would have lost on Contender Series too, so that's the funny part. But, sadly, we did have to watch him have 2 UFC fights. Hopefully this is his last one, because he will take an L, and we'll go from there. Not much else to say. Raffael Cerqueira is fucking awful. The bang after his fight, have Modestas Bukauskas -325 to +260. Yeah, I think Bukauskas is definitely lock of the night territory. He's not my lock of the night, but he definitely was in consideration. Could he choke away this win? Yeah. Will he? Probably not. He should win this easily. I think this is easier. Like, I think, again, this might be the easiest fight he's had in UFC. Like, and that's saying, like, he fought Andreas Michelitis and goddamn Zach Ponga. So, that says a lot, but overall, unless Raffael learned how to fight, and even then, I don't think he's going to win, Bukauskas should win pretty easily. I'd be very shocked if he choked this away. Like, what, is he gonna get knocked out? Raffael actually has to throw. So, give me Modestas Bukauskas by decision. One of the easiest picks on the card, in my opinion. I don't think there's much to it. Just the better fighter. Like, by a mile. Like, when you make Modestas Bukauskas look like the better fighter by a mile, that says a lot. So, give me Modestas Bukauskas by decision. Should be a pretty easy win for him. The easiest, could easily be the easiest of his career. And, yeah, unless Raffael learns how to fight or throw a punch, and even then he actually has to land it, and Bukauskas does not have that terrible a chin, I'm going Modestas Bukauskas by decision. So, probably going to be a shitty fight to begin the night. Maybe Bukauskas just does the same thing Ibo did and just punches him a bunch of times and he doesn't throw back. Wouldn't be too shocked, but you never know. So, I'm going to decision. Bukauskas is not a finisher, and I don't think he has that much power anyway, so give me Modestas Bukauskas by decision. Not much to say. One of the easiest fights on the night to predict. Easily could have been lock of the night, but I don't trust him that much. It's still Modestas Bukauskas, so yeah. But I'm going to start tonight with Modestas by decision. After that, we get to our first of 4 debuts on the card, and this one was booked last week, so very short notice, as in our second fight of the night in the middleweight division. We have a very interesting fight. Not really sure what to make of this one, because one of these guys I'm not very high on, and the other guy I've not really heard of until he got booked last week. As in our second fight of the night in the middleweight division, we have Nursulton Black Ruziboev versus Eric McConico. I believe I'm McConico. I'm going to say McConico. McConico. That's him. Eric McConico. I doubt that's how you say it. Do I care? No. Well, let's see if Nursulton can actually make it to his fight this week, because his brother couldn't last week against Jared Gordon, where he had medical issues. So, second time's the charm there, Ruziboev. And he is going back to middleweight, which is fucking smart. So I'm happy about that for Nursulton. And the last thing, is this a short notice fight? Yes, but not because I guess Nursulton was meant to be on the card, and they finally found him an opponent. He did not have an opponent before, so like weird, but cool. Good to see this. Good to have another fight on the card. Hopefully it's a good one. Let's see what these guys can do. And let's begin with the UFC veteran of the two, Nursulton Ruziboev. God, remember the hype he had after his debut? God, he fell off. 31 years old, giant, 6 foot something? Where's his height? 6'5", very tall. How the fuck did he make welterweight? 2-1 in the UFC. His 2 wins were Bruno Ferreira and Cedricus Dumas. His 1 loss was Joaquin Buckley in his last fight over a year ago almost. Again, I'm happy to see him back at flyweight. I think that welterweight move for him was fucking stupid. He's way too big, and I don't think he has the skills to fight those tinier guys. I think middleweight is his division. In his 2 fights at middleweight, he's got first round knockouts over Bruno, which that's a pretty decent win, especially by knockout. And Cedricus Dumas, even though it was a very questionable win, because he did kind of poke him in the eye, but that's not here nor there. Again, the Buckley fight, fun fight, and I get Buckley's great, but that was he should not move down to welterweight. Like I said, it just does not really make sense for him to move down to welterweight, so I'm happy he's back at middleweight. Probably not by choice, because this is very short notice, but either way, middleweight to middleweight. To talk about Nursulton, there's not really much to say. He's a decent striker, he has good power in his hands. He has a little bit of a ground game, but not in his last fight he didn't. He has 20 wins by submission, which is fucking insane. A lot of fights on his record, 34 wins at 31 years old, so a lot of padded fights. I'm gonna assume. And yeah, is he that good? I don't think so. I think he's very mid. Like, I think he's gonna be in the same position as your Bruno Fiera's, your fucking who else? Who's another? Marc-Andre Barry, not even that shitty. Dustin Stoltzfus, where he's fine. He's a fine fighter, but is he really gonna ever do much in the UFC? No. He's gonna have some fun fights, and that's gonna be that. Never gonna be a ranked guy. Never gonna beat anyone that great. But he can have fun fights, and that's what he's here to do. Have fun fights, get knocked out, get a knockout. That's what I think his skill set's made for. He's not going to be a contender. He's not a prospect. Again, remember the hype he had after his debut? Jesus Christ. But, I just don't see a lot in Nursulton. Maybe he can prove me wrong, but I don't think he's that great. Especially at middleweight, which is kind of good for talent at the moment. Do you really think he's on the level of your fucking Gregory Rodriguez's, your Joe Pfeiffer's, even who I think's terrible, but still, Ikram, Abus? No, I think he's not on those guys' level. Or if he, well, maybe a few of them, because they're not very good, but you know what I mean. I don't see him as a ranked guy, so that I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Or even a prospect, so. There. I hope that got my point across. He's not bad, he can strike, he has good power, his ground game's alright, but he's not, I just don't see a lot in him. I truly don't, so we'll see if he can prove me wrong, but 3 fights in, I've not seen a whole lot from him, and he's very inactive, so let's see what he can do here. Getting a ginormous step down from Joe Quinn Buckley to Eric. So, well, let's see. To talk about Eric, his opponent, Eric McConico. I'm trying to remember how I said McConico. 34 years old, 9-2-1 in his career, coming out the MMA lab, which, okay, that's promising. I know he's meant to fight last week in Tough and Uff. He was meant to be main eventing, funny enough, and they pulled him from that fight a day before it happened, or maybe the day of. So, you know, kind of dickheadish by the UFC, but you know, they do what they want. Not really. I'd be lying if I said I've ever heard of this guy. I think I've seen him in the corner of a few fighters, because I think he has cornered a few guys. But outside of that, I can't really say I've ever seen him fight. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. The most notable win is Maki Patolo. If you remember him, he was terrible in the UFC. Hasn't fought anyone else that notable. So, yeah. And not even in a great promotion. Again, Tough and Uff. So, take that as you will. 34 years old. 5 inches shorter than Nursulton. Last fight in July, but you can't say this is really short notice because he was meant to fight last week, so you can't even say he's not in camp. So he will be ready to fight, so you can say that at least, but outside of that, I don't really know what else to say. He meant to fight Billy Alicana, who is in the UFC now. He had a lot of canceled fights on the regional scene, which is kind of weird, but I guess that's gonna happen. Let's see what this guy can do. That's a wow. What are the odds? His first pro fight. Let's see what this guy can do. 34 years old, getting a debut against Nursulton Ruziboev on a week notice. Good luck. From the MMA lab is promising, but outside of that, I'm not seeing a lot of promising things from Eric McConico. So let's wait and see, I guess. Let's wait and see. The Baghdasaryan fight have Nursulton Ruziboev minus 300 to plus 240. Yeah, probably. From everything I've gathered, 5 inches shorter, 34 years old, a week notice, not fought anyone that notable. Yeah, Nursulton probably is going to win this fight unless McConico... Does McConico have a good ground game? 3 submission wins? Maybe he can try and sub him? Outside of that, I'm not really sure. So, good luck. It'd be, if he springs the upset, cool. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. So, you know, I'm not gonna really hold my breath. So maybe people who actually have done research will say better things about Eric than me. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just saying I have my doubts. So who am I going with in this fight? Give me Nursulton Ruziboev by probably knockout in the first. I would be a little shocked if he didn't get Eric out of there. So on a week notice at 34 years old and much shorter. Give me Nursulton by knockout in the first probably. I really don't know what else to say. I think UFC is just trying to give Nursulton a win. I think they like Nursulton for some reason, so maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed giving him Eric McConico on a week notice when he was not even booked for this card, excuse me, is a little weird, but whatever. Whatever, UFC. Give me Nursulton Ruziboev by knockout in the first. Probably what I'm going to go with. Unless something comes up that changes my opinion, which I highly doubt, I'll probably go Nursulton by knockout in the first. So, sorry Eric, our first of our 4 debutants. I have taken an L. So, just getting a really, really, really tough debut. Maybe you can prove me wrong. We're going to find out. My pick, Nursulton Ruziboev by knockout in the first. First finish of the night. For the first finish of the night. Can we get more? Hopefully. Nursulton knockout in the first. Boom. After that, we go to our third fight of the night. I'm smiling already. The fight that was booked on Tuesday, the last fight to be booked, and probably the last one to be booked for this card. Out of fucking nowhere, our third fight of the night in the welterweight division, right? In the catchweight. We have a fight. I can't fucking believe it's actually happening. Oh, this is gonna be fucking hilarious. I can't fucking believe it. And then our third fight of the night in the welterweight division, we have Mr. Van Zandt, Austin, the gentleman, Vanderford versus Nikolay Veretennikov. Veretennikov. Who cares? How the fuck is Austin Vanderford in the UFC in 2025? Dana, you're about 6 years late. Like, the Paige Van Zandt hype was like 10 years ago. When he was on Contender Series and you didn't fucking sign him, so... Good job. I don't know what to say. I'm usually not shocked by fight news, but when I saw the Marcel notification and I saw Austin Vanderford pop up, I was like, what? I can't fucking believe Austin Vanderford is in the UFC. I can't wait. I personally cannot wait for this fight. It's gonna be so fucking funny no matter what happens. Either Austin Vanderford's gonna win or Austin Vanderford's gonna lose. Either way, fucking hilarious. I can't wait to find out. So, let's break this down. We'll start with Mr. Van Zandt himself, Austin Vanderford. Wow. 34 years old, making his UFC debut, finally. He was on the Contender Series all the way back in 2018. I think that was the first season. Since he obviously was in Bellator, was undefeated for a while, eventually got a title shot, fought Gegard Mousasi, got killed, fought Aaron Jeffrey, a very good fighter who should be in the UFC, got killed, took 2 years off, came back against Victor Romero and LFA and won, and now he's in the UFC not long after. I don't know what to think. Is he good? No, we know Austin Vanderford's not good. Page might be the better fighter of the two. But overall, why is he here in 2025? So, like, you missed your fucking shot, Daner. He was literally on Contender Series in 2018, undefeated, at the peak of Paige Van Zandt hype, and you didn't fucking sign him. Why are you signing him now? So, I don't get it. I truly don't. So, let alone he's 1-2 in his last 3, 34 years old. It's just funny. Like, it's not even like anyone's like people are not hype about it, like they're laughing at it. I know I say I'm hype for it. I'm just fucking find it funny. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see either Austin get embarrassed or win. Which is better? I don't know. So I can't wait. I'm so fucking intrigued. So let's see how he does. Yeah, I get it a little bit past his prime, quotation marks, because prime means you were actually good at one point. But let's see what he can do. He has some power in his hands. He is a wrestler. Let's see what the guy can do. 34 years old, finally getting his chance in the big leagues. Let's see, Mr. Van Zandt. What do you got? What do you got to talk about his opponent, Nikolay Veretennikov, whatever. Nikolay is 0-1 in UFC. He made his short-notice UFC debut against Danny Barlow in August. He in a god-awful fight that he almost won because Barlow threw fucking nothing for 15 minutes. Before then, he was on Contender Series against Michael Morales. God, this guy has really bad luck against undefeated prospects. But, yeah, he's now 0-2 in UFC fights under fights under the UFC banner. I was not heavily impressed with his fight against Danny Barlow, mainly because I think that fight was close, more because Barlow did fuck nothing, less than I think Nikolay actually did anything, but maybe I'm wrong. This guy could really fucking have a funny moment here beating Vanderford. The weird thing about this fight is Nikolay was meant to fight last week against Billy Goff and pulled out due to an injury or whatever, and now he's fighting a week later. So why the fuck did he pull out? I don't fucking get it, but whatever. I don't really know what to say. 35 years old, 12-5. I was not impressed with his UFC debut, like I said. So let's see what he can do. I guess. Can he on a full camp against shitty Austin Vanderford? Let's see what he can do, I guess. So, I guess that's about all I can really say. Outside of that, who knows? This is a very ungodly low-level fight, so let's see who wins. Betting the odds for this fight, I have Nikolay shockingly minus 160 to plus 135. I guess no one has any hype for Mr. Van Zandt. Actually, I looked at the odds earlier for this fight. They're pretty much a pick'em now. I think Nikolay is minus 120, 125. So, very close in odds. But, I don't know. Probably a pick'em. They both suck. Who sucks less? I gotta go with the meme. Give me Austin Vanderford by decision. I have to. How do I not? I think he's probably the better fighter, no bullshit, and B, he has something to prove. So, let's see what he can do, man. I'm very excited and very intrigued, so give me Austin Vanderford by decision. I don't know if he's gonna finish Nikolay. I don't know if what he's gonna do. It's my first time watching him fight, so let's see what he can do. Give me Austin Vanderford by decision in a fight that is so low level, but so funny. Give me Mr. Van Zandt by decision. Will I be wrong? I don't think it's a bad pick. It's a pick'em, in my opinion. I think the betting odds, like I said, are pretty much a pick'em. So flip a coin and see which shitty side it ends on. Give me Austin Vanderford by decision. About really all I can say. So, low-level fights at their finest. I still can't believe this is actually happening. Wow. Next, back to real UFC fighters and not memes, as in our fourth fight of the night. Actually, a really solid fight that could be on the main card. We head to bantamweight for a pretty solid fight between two dudes needing a win, as we have Ricky Simón versus Javid the Snow Leopard Basharat. A decent fight here. Would have been better a year ago when these two are not coming off a lot of losses, but what can you do? The last win between these two was 2 years ago, so yeah. Still a decent fight. We know these two very well, so I really don't gotta go in depth on these two, so let's get into it. Ricky Simón, Javid Basharat should be good. And let's start with the veteran, Ricky Simón. Ricky, 32 years old, yeah, getting up there in age, and is definitely showing. 8-5 now in UFC, 1-0 off the Contender Series. His wins in UFC have been Merab Dvalishvili. What a fucking debut that was. Well, what a debut win. Monto Jackson, what a second win in the UFC. Goddamn, could you get a much better 1-2 punch for wins? Ronnie Yaya, Ray Borg, Gitano Perelio, Brian Kelleher, Raffael Sunsao, and Jack Shore. His losses have been Uriah Faber, Rob Font, Song Yadong, Mario Bautista, and Vinicius Oliveira. He's kind of been up and down in UFC, and lately he's more been down. Again, he is getting older at 32 years old. And again, it's showing. In that Oliveira fight, he looked very not great. In that Batista fight, he looked alright. In that Song Yadong main event, when he was the favorite somehow, he looked okay. But, like, kind of been his thing in UFC, not being able to kind of with, who did I just talk about a little bit ago? Who did I just talk about? Modestas Bukauskas. How he can't really beat the better level fighters. Like, if you really look at Simón's wins, yeah, he beat Merab, a young Monto Jackson. Ray Borg's alright. Jack Shore, he fraud checked him. But outside of that, Faber, Font, Yadong, Oliveira, and Batista, he lost all those fights pretty clearly, no less. So, like, Ricky's not a bad fighter by any means, but he's not really the type of guy to be beating, like, ranked level fighters. He beats your unproven prospects or just tomato cans like fucking Kelleher and whoever the fuck Perelio is. So that's what you get with Ricky Simón, a very fine fighter, but never a guy who's going to win a bout or fucking win main events and etc. etc. So yes, so he has a lot of skill, but overall he just, is not able to break that glass ceiling, and as he's gotten older, he is now getting beat more and more. Like, again, those 3 losses are not bad. Song Yadong in main eventing this card. Mario Batista's top 10 ranked. Oliveira's probably going to be top 15, and he just beat Saeed Nurmagomedov. So you can't get mad at those losses, but when you can't beat the top guys, what can you really expect? You're going to be mid. So Ricky's good. He's good everywhere. Got good striking, got good grappling, got good cardio, his chin's kind of weak. Got decent power, but he's getting older, and it's really showing. And now on a 3-fight skid, he's going to fight his heart out in this one, which could be good or bad. We're going to find out. I'm intrigued. Like I said, I'm very intrigued to see what happens. This is a really good fight on these prelims. Again, it could easily be on the main card. And let's see if Ricky can keep his job. It would kind of be weird to see Ricky Simón get cut, but if you lose 4 in a row, it's kind of hard to make a case to keep you. So let's see if Ricky can get that win that he desperately needs. To talk about his opponent, Javid Basharat, another guy who's not been winning a lot lately. Javid is 3-1-1 in UFC coming out to Contender Series. His 3 wins have been Trevin Jones, Tony Gravely, and Madeus Mendonca. He had a no contest with Victor Henry, and he lost to Amin Zahabi. Kind of the same thing I said with Ricky Simón. To a point, he's been able to beat these bad fighters, but when he fought Amin Zahabi, he didn't look amazing. Even though I do think that fight was very debatable on who won, he still didn't win. And then it's not like it's a bad loss. Amin Zahabi is great. We know Amin Zahabi is great. He's in the top 15 right now. But, you know, fucking, still, you're meant to be this undefeated prospect. You were a giant favorite and a 900 favorite, and you lost. So, and then you had a no contest with Victor Henry because you kicked his fucking balls in. So, hasn't had a win since July 2023. Not that active. You kind of, it sucks to see, but that's just the fight game. His brother is doing good. Farid is doing really good right now. He just needs to actually get a fight booked. So let's see if Javid can get back on track. He's really good. He has really good striking. His cardio's a little iffy. I think he's gassed a few times, but especially against a veteran, he might gas. But again, overall, he's not a bad fighter. Striking's good. Not really a lot of power. He is a decision machine at heart, it seems. I feel like he has really good kicks. I don't know why that's something that's coming to mind. He has really good kicks and leg kicks and stuff like that. So he's a fine fighter. He's a very fine fighter, but he's just not won lately, and he's not been active lately. And Farid is better, so you kind of got a lot of things working against him. So we'll see if we can get back on track here. But definitely a step down from Amin Zahabi, but still Ricky Simón's going to be a tough fight for anybody, so let's see, man. Let's see what Javid can do if he can get back on track. He really needs to, so see if he can. The Bang on first fight have Javid Basharat minus 285 to plus 230. I don't know if I would have him that big of a favorite. Like, he should win, but I don't know if I would have him almost minus 300. I might move him down to more minus 220 at the highest. Yeah, I think that feels right, minus 220. He should win. I don't really see him losing unless Ricky just comes out here fighting like, funny enough, Marab and just fucking takes him down for 15 minutes, which I guess is possible, but I think it's unlikely. I think Javid should win. So I'm going to go Javid Basharat by decision. I know that's not really a hot take, but Ricky's just getting older, and I just think Javid's still better. I think Javid still is a decent fighter, just needs to get back on track after fighting a very, very good Amin Zahabi. So give me Javid Basharat by decision. I think he should be able to get his first win in a while, and send Ricky out of the UFC, which sucks, but kind of what happens, man. So give me Javid Basharat by decision. Again, unless Ricky just comes out here for a complete fucking wrestling game plan, I really struggle to see him fucking beat Javid here. So give me Javid Basharat by decision. Not really much more to say. I can't really add much more. Give me the younger, hungrier guy. Simple. Sorry, Ricky. Last time, baby. Probably. Javid Basharat by decision. Next, we head to our 5th fight of the night. A fight I am very excited for, and a fight that I think a lot of people are kind of overpricing, if that makes sense. And then our 5th fight of the night in the middleweight division, we have a banger that I'm very excited for. As in our 5th fight of the night, very young, pretty much Contender Series fight on our hands here, as we have Nick Blue Collar Klein versus Mansur Abdul-Malik. Banger, the guy who main evented the first week of Contender Series last year versus the guy who main evented the last week of Contender Series last year. What a fight. Two of the best fighters from that season, it would seem, at least so far. I can't wait. This is going to be a fucking banger. I'm so excited for this fight, and I think the odds for this fight are a little out there. So, I'm excited. I'm very excited, so let's get into this, and we'll begin with one of my favorite fighters from Contender Series last year, Nick Klein. This is Nick Klein's UFC debut at 1-0, coming off Contender Series. I mean, we're not 1-0, 1-0 on the Contender Series, coming off the Contender Series. He looked fantastic on Contender Series. He got the guy down, rear naked choked him as a ginormous underdog on very short notice. That's how you fucking win a contract, man. He didn't show much else, but just off that alone, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Nick Klein. I think he's fucking awesome. 29-0, or 29-0. 29 years old, 6-1. Yeah, I feel bad for him though, because this is such a bullshit debut. But he is taking this on short notice. He is stepping in for Antonio Trucoli. So, definitely a step up from him, but still, I feel bad, because I think he's really good and he deserves a better fight than this, but he said yes to a short notice fight against Mansur Abdul-Malik. So, you're gonna get a short notice fight against Mansur Abdul-Malik. So, yeah, you get what you signed up for. Good luck, Nick. I don't know what you're really gonna do in this fight. Do you really want to strike with Mansur? No. Do you want to grapple with him? No. Good luck. You're gonna need it. I hope you win. I want to see Nick Klein win this fight, but good luck. To talk about his opponent, Mansur Abdul-Malik, 27 years old, undefeated, 1-0 in the UFC, coming off Contender Series. In his UFC debut a few months ago, he smashed Dusko Todorovic in about 2.5 minutes, as you should. And now he's back already for his third fight under UFC banner. He's good, man. He's definitely one of the most interesting prospects at middleweight at the moment. He's powerful as shit. His cardio's alright. His ground game's great. His striking's great. He's good. He's very good. He's 27 years old. I think he has Eric Nixick in his corner and shit. Maybe I'm wrong. I swear he did though. He's good. He's very good. And I'm very intrigued to see how he does here in a real big step up in competition from Dusko. I think Mansur is going to be one of those interesting guys we hype up for a while, especially if he smashes Nick Klein here. I think Mansur could really be a guy who gets a lot of hype. He already is getting a lot of hype. He's the biggest favorite on the card here. But he could be definitely one of those middleweights who's like really hyped up quickly. So we might be talking about him in the category of the guys I was naming earlier, your fucking Paul Craigs and blah 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 blah, sooner than we think. So did I say Paul Craigs? Bo Nichols, I think is who I meant to say, and all that. So I think Mansur is very good. I think he is very good. So he's still young. He's still 7-0, 27 years old, but he's good, and I think he's gonna be one of those guys. If he wins this fight, he's going to be high on prospect rankings, in my opinion. He's going to be really high on people's prospect watch, which he should be. So whoever wins this fight should be high on the prospect watch, because they're both very good. Even the loser should still be. So I'm excited. I'm a fan of both these guys. I think they're both very good. But who's better? Let's find out. The bands for this fight are not -560. Mansur has jumped all the way up to 4 digits, -1,000 when I looked earlier. I like Mansur and I think he wins this fight, but no, he's not that big. Even -560 I think is too big. I would say -300 at most. Like, I would think -290 would be perfect. He should win. I agree. I think he's going to beat Nick Klein. Should he be -1,000 though? Yeah, against Antonio Trucoli, he should be -6,000. Why is he this big a favorite against Nick Klein? A guy who, yeah, I get we saw 37 seconds of on the Contender Series, but he is really fucking good. So I feel like people are really disrespecting Nick here, and I'm not gonna say he's gonna win, and I would even be shocked if he did win. But I don't think this is gonna be as easy as people think. I truly don't. I don't think this is gonna look like a minus 1,000 performance. Maybe it's just me. I truly don't. If Nick pulled off the upset, yeah, I'd be a little shocked. But at the same time, y'all kind of made your own shock here, because you put Mansur on such a fucking pedestal that against a guy who is very good. He's been the underdog before, so I don't know. I don't think this should be a fight where it's like, oh, Mansur easily. This should not be a minus 1,000. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mansur goes out there and smashes him in a minute. If so, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. But until that happens, I don't think this is a minus 1,000 fight. So I'm not going to pick Nick to win. I'm picking Mansur to win. I don't think he's minus 1,000 though. I think that's a crazy fucking betting line, and I think a lot of people are going to be proven wrong when this fight is not going to look like a minus 1,000 performance. I don't think Mansur is going to lose. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's going to look minus 1,000. So that's about all I got to say there. My pick is still going to be Mansur Abdul-Malik. I think he's going to win. I think he's very good. I think he is going to be able to be a little bit better than Nick here, especially with Nick coming in on very short notice. But I still don't think he'll look minus 1,000. So, yeah. My pick is going to be Mansur Abdul-Malik, and I'm going to go by decision. I don't know when he's going to finish Nick, if he does finish Nick. And I think if he doesn't finish Nick, it kind of proves my point about this fight being a lot closer than the odds say. So I'm going to go Mansur Abdul-Malik by decision. Probably, I doubt I go by finish. I think there's a high chance he probably does finish him. But I think Nick's tough. I think he's going to make this a dogfight that could go that's going to be, not can go either way, but that's going to be a really tough one for Mansur. Going to be Mansur's first real test. And I'm going to go Mansur Abdul-Malik by decision. His first decision of his career. I think Nick's tough. I think he's going to test the kid. Let's see what happens. I'm excited. This is going to be a really good fight. And I think the betting odds are going to look really off very quickly. Give me Mansur Abdul-Malik by decision in what should be a lot closer of a fight than you all think. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims, a fight that's going to be a banger, because come on, you see this guy on the card, you know he's gonna be a banger, probably fight of the night, no less. As in our co-main event of the prelims, we head to featherweight for a very, very good fight between Andre Touchy Fili versus Melquizael Costa. What a fight. This is going to be so fucking good. I can't wait. Like I said, Andre Fili's on the card. You know it's going to be a banger. You know it's probably going to be fight of the night. And especially since I gave him a good dance partner, this should be fun. I'm excited. Fili, Costa, yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a banger. Let's begin with our favorite touchy-feely, tattooed, toothless, I don't know, banger haver? That was a terrible fucking way to describe that. Andre Fili. 12, 10, and 1 in the UFC. Holy shit, he fights a lot. He's been in UFC for, what, 10 years? 11 years? His most notable wins, I'm not going to go down every single one. Gabriel Benitez, Artem Lobov, Dennis Bermudez, Miles Jury, Charles Jourdain, Bill Algeo, Luke Alexander, and Cub Swanson. His losses have been Max Holloway, that guy, Yair Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, Michael Johnson, Sadiq Youssef, Bryce Mitchell, Joe Anderson Brito, Nathaniel Wood, and Dan Ige. And he had a no contest with Daniel Pineda, which he was going to win. Yeah, kind of the running theme of this card. Fili's the guy who's been able to beat the lower echelon of guys, your Cub Swansons, Billy Algeo, Charles Jourdain, Artem Lobov, but he's never been able to beat these top 15 guys. I don't think he's ever even been ranked, which is kind of sad, because he does have talent. Like, he's not just a guy who has fun fights. He actually is very talented, in my opinion. He has good striking. He has good heart. His chin's kind of iffy at times. He's been knocked out how many times? 4 times in the UFC. So, you know, his chin is definitely not the strongest, but at the same time, how could it be when you're fighting Joe Anderson, Brito, and Dan Ige? He is coming off a win in his last fight against Cub Swanson, even though a lot of people don't think he won that fight. So, you know, oops. But, we know again with Andre Fili, a guy who's going to go in there, have a banger. He's good on the ground, he's good on the feet. He's going to try and have a banger, try and get 5 of the night like he's got many times in the past, and see what happens. So, always good to see Andre Fili back on a card. You know what we're getting from him, and he's going to have another banger, because that's all he does. Banger after banger after banger. Him, Nate Landwehr, Juicy J, Cub Swanson, Charles Jourdain, when he was in that conversation, all are in the same picture. They're the unranked guys in that division who just have really fun fights. And that's why we all like them. Always good to see Touchy Fili back. Even though he is getting older at 34 years old, still good to have him back for as long as we have him. To talk about his younger opponent, Costa, feels like it's been forever since we've seen him fight. 28 years old, a little bit younger than Touchy Fili, 2-2 in the UFC. I forgot he had a fight since the Steve Garcia fight. I did not remember I don't remember him having a fight in 2024, if I'm being honest with you. But he did. He is 2-2 in the UFC. His 2 wins have been Austin Lingo and Shailan Nursulton. His 2 losses have been Thiago Moises and Steve Garcia. He's looked good in all of his UFC fights outside the Garcia fight, which this Steve Garcia, that man's just a fucking not human right now. Outside of that, he actually looked pretty decent against Thiago Moises until he got finished, from what I remember. On short notice, up a weight class against Thiago Moises, he dominated Austin Lingo, as expected, and he dominated Shailan Nursulton last year, as expected. So, he hasn't looked bad in any of his UFC fights, outside the Garcia one, which again, Steve Garcia is just fucking insane. And Costa's good. He's well-rounded, clearly. 7 wins in all 3 ways of winning. 28 years old, had a lot of fights under his belt already. Obviously, he has vertigo, as you can see. The only fighter in the UFC to have that. And he is from shoot to box, which, you know, that means he can grapple. His striking is alright. He's a good fighter. He's a very solid fighter, and if he was more active, I think a lot more people would talk about him, but he's just inactive. And I get he's 2-2, but if you really look at those 2 losses, Thiago Moises and Steve Garcia, 2 very, very good fighters. So, and when he's fought lower level competition, he's dominated. So, we can't really ask for much more from a guy. When he's beat the low level guys you gave him and lost to the high level guys you gave him, what do you want him to do? So, I can't really, I'm not really sure what else you want from him. So, I think Costa's good. He has good striking. He has even better grappling. And he should bring a fun fight to Andre Fili. They should meet in the middle and see what happens. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun, man. This is gonna be so fucking fun. Let's see what happens. The Bengals first fight are pretty much a pick'em. I think Costa might be a tiny favorite right now. I think he might be like minus 140, but I'm not really sure. I do think they should be a pick'em. This could really go either way. Fili's very good, but again, we know his chin's kind of iffy. We know he is getting older. And then for Costa, we know Steve Garcia did break him, and Andre Fili is going to bring a fight to him, so we'll see if he can withstand that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting fight between 2 very interesting fighters, so I can't wait. This is a very fun fight. As always, it's an Andre Fili fight. So let's see what happens. Who am I going with here? Again, I think this is a coin flip of a fight, but I'm going to probably lean Andre Fili. I think he should be able to squeeze this one out. I think his striking is better, and I think he should be able to keep it on the feet if Costa does try and take it there, which I don't see why he wouldn't. So, I'm going to probably go Andre Fili here to win a decision. I could see a finish in this fight by either side. Either Fili's chin can get cracked or he can get submitted. Fili could crack Costa's chin. Either way, something fun's gonna happen, and I can't wait. So, I don't know who's gonna win. I'm leaning Andre Fili though, and what I do know is this fight's gonna be very, very good. So, give me Andre Fili by decision. This should be a very interesting, good fight, and with every Andre Fili fight. So, I'm excited. We already know it's going to be 5 of the night, more than likely, so let's just give that out now. And who's my pick? I'm going to go Andre Touchy Fili by decision. Can't wait. What a banger. And now time for our featured prelim. We go back to light heavyweight for the second time tonight, and not the last, for a very fun fight that I would be amazed went 15 minutes, as we have the Battle of the I names, which is a rarity, as we have in our featured prelim, our main event of the prelims, we have Ion the Hulk Cutelaba versus Ibo the Last Ottoman Aslan. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Someone is getting finished here between these two psychopaths, and I can't wait. What a fight. Amazing matchmaking. Let's see who's getting finished between these two crazy fucks. We got Ion versus Ibo. Let's go. We'll start with the veteran in this fight, somehow still in the UFC, even though he's terrible. Ion Cutelaba. Ion in the UFC is 7-9-1. Somehow coming off a win in his last fight. His wins in the UFC have been, his overall wins in the UFC have been Jonathan Wilson, who, Luis da Silva, who, not even gonna try that name, Claire Roundtree, how, Devin Clark, Tanner Bozer, and Ivan Urslan. His losses have been Misha Serkinov, Jared Cannonier, Glover Teixeira, Magomed Ankalaev, Ryan Spann, Johnny Walker, Kendian Dutchku, and Felipe Lins. And his one draw was with Dustin Jacoby. How he does not have more draws, I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, he's terrible. He's the definition of a one-round fighter. He pushes a pace, he goes completely insane, just fucking tries to rip your head off in the first round, and if he fails, he usually gasses. Outside of that rare Devin Clark fight when he turned into goddamn George St. Pierre for no reason, so, you know, logic. I think Ion's a terrible fighter, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's good. I don't think he should still be in the UFC. But, again, somehow he is coming off a win against Ivan Urslan. But somehow Ivan Urslan, he made it to the UFC. He's just fucking awful as well. This is Ion's first real fight in a while since he fought Kendian Dutchku, I would say. Because, let's be honest, Bozer, Lins, and Ivan Urslan are not really high caliber guys. So, you know. You know, so, yeah. I still think Ion's the same terrible fighter he's always been. He looked like that same terrible fighter in his last fight against Ivan. So, you know, just going off what I see, I don't know. I don't know how he's still here. I don't think he's good at all. And I think he's just getting fed to a much better, younger prospect. So, he's only 31 somehow, but let's see if he can pull off another upset. It's been a while since he's done that, so we'll see if he can pull another rabbit out of his ass. Can he upset a prospect? Hopefully not, because holy shit, light heavyweight needs them. So, let's see if Eon's cannon fodder or the Hulk smash. It's going to be hard for the Hulk to smash because he is fighting the last Ottoman, Ibo Aslan, who is very, very good. Ibo in the UFC is 2-0 coming off Contender Series. His 2 wins in the UFC since coming off Contender Series have been Anton Turkalj and Raffael Cerqueira. Cerqueira, however the fuck you say it. Yeah, pretty terrible wins, I'll give you that. Anton is terrible, Raffael is terrible, but wins are wins, and now he is fighting Cutelaba, who is also terrible. They're building him up slowly. It's pretty simple. The UFC is just building Ibo up slowly, because he is a little bit green still. I think after he wins this fight, he'll probably get a pretty big jump up in competition. So, which is well deserved because he is very good, and light heavyweight needs any talent they can get. And I think Ibo is very talented. He hits like a truck. He has good striking. His cardio is not great. We've not seen him really go to the ground yet. So we've had those two little problems in his game. But outside of that, he's looked good. He's looked really good in the UFC, and getting another pretty easy win here, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Eon is definitely a step up from those two, but not by much, so let's see how Ibo does. Can he pass another test? Only one way to find out. Can he land those fucking bombs of those fucking evil punches that just kill you? We'll see. We'll see indeed. As our betting odds, kind of Ibo Aslan as a tiny favorite, only minus 135. I think he should be bigger. Like, he should be minus 200 at bare minimum. Ion Cutelaba is awful, and his only way of winning this fight is takedowns. And we know Ion Cutelaba has shitty cardio, though he would probably gas before Ibo did, for fuck's sake. So I have my doubts about fucking Eon, as I think we all do, because we've all seen him fight over the years by now, and he's, again, fucking awful, so, you know, just being honest. UFC is just defeating a veteran to a prospect, and again, unless Eon just turns into goddamn Marab out of nowhere again, like he did against Devin Clark, more than likely this is going to be another L for Eon, so, you know, that's another day in the office for him. My pick here is going to be Ibo Aslan. I think he's just better. Again, could Eon bullshit his way to a win? Probably. But I just think Ibo's going to be able to keep it standing and knock his fucking teeth in. So, give me Ibo Aslan by knockout in the first. I just don't see Eon beating Ibo. I just think it'd be a really big ask and a big fucking challenge for him to do that, so I don't think it's going to happen. I think Ibo is going to be able to get the finish early, and probably more of a fight than the Raffael whatever the fuck fight, because I think Eon's going to throw back, but I don't think he's going to do much better. So give me Ibo Aslan by knockout in the first to end the prelims and put himself as the king of the eyes at 205. Finally, only an hour in, the prelims done. They're not bad. They're not bad. Those last 4 fights are very good. The first 3 are kind of weird. This is not great. This is okay. This is hilarious. But after you get past that, you got these 4 very good fights that I'm excited for. So, prelims start a little weird, but end really good, and should be a fun prelims. Got a lot of fun fighters. Fili, Ibo, Klein, Abdul-Malik, Nursulton. So, you got a lot of fun fighters. Let's see what they can do. So, let's wait and see what happens. So, I'm excited. Very good prelims. And now we move on to our final 5 fights of the night. Moving up to the main card. Seattle, are you ready? I hope you are. Sound like SpongeBob intro for a second. Are you ready, kids? I know I am. Let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. 5 more fights to break down for UFC Seattle, and we begin in the division we were just in, 205, the light heavyweights, one last time on this card, as we have another debutante versus a veteran, and then our main card opener in the light heavyweight division. We begin the main card with Atomic Alonzo Menifield versus Julius Juice Box Walker. Interesting fight to begin a main card. Rare to have a debutante on a main card, let alone opening it. But I guess they might see something in Walker being the only debutante on this card. On the main card, not on the prelims, because of course Klein, Vanderford, and who's the other one? Eric are all on the prelims. So interesting. I guess they just know this fight's gonna be quick. So because Menifield is gonna try and finish people, and we'll see what Walker can do. So should be interesting. I'm intrigued. I don't think this should be the main card opener. I would have Fili probably open the main card because Fili is gonna for sure have a banger, and everyone loves Andre Fili. But this fight's cool too, and not a bad opener. I guess it's a big night at light heavyweight, so let's end it with a big fight, big debut, I guess. So let's get into it with our first fight, the non-debutante, the veteran Alonzo Menifield. Alonzo in the UFC is 8-5-1. His wins have been off the Contender Series, Vinicius Moria, Paul Craig, Fabio Charant, Ed Herman, Azamat Murzakanov, Misha Serkinov, Jimmy Crute, and Dustin Jacoby. He has lost to Devin Clark, OSP, William Knight, Carlos Alberg, and Azamat Murzakanov, and he had a draw with Jimmy Crute, which I guess that's just common with Jimmy Crute. Menifield has been such a hot and cold fighter in the UFC. One fight he looks amazing, the next fight he can't land a punch where he gets KO'd in 15 seconds. He's not bad. When he's on his game, he looks really good. The Jacoby fight's a prime example, because that wasn't even a knockout. He just beat the shit out of him for 15 minutes. But then the next fight, he runs headfirst into the cage and gets knocked out by Carlos Alberg. So, what does that tell you? He is 37 years old now. His only fucking corner man is Pat Barry half the time, so that kind of shows why he sucks. But, like, it's just annoying to watch him fight sometimes, and, like, how good he can look. He has bombs in his hand. He's really athletic. He's not a bad fighter, but sometimes he just makes stupid decisions or just can't fucking do a lot in a fight, so he's not a bad fighter. But at 37 years old, not the smartest fighter, not the most fucking consistent fighter. You see why he's on a 2-fight losing streak. To great fighters, Carlos Alberg and Azamat Murzakanov are amazing fighters, but he looked awful in those fights. Menifield got smashed in 12 seconds, my bad, and he couldn't land a punch on Murzakanov, it felt like, so, you know. Now he's fighting another debutante. Well, if he's fighting a debutante, not another one. He was meant to be fighting Omer Sy, which, you know, easy. And now he's fighting Julius Walker. So, good. Respect for him taking this fight, because he really doesn't need to take a fight like this. He was just ranked in top 15. He might still be ranked in top 15, to be honest, I'm not sure. But I know if he's not, he was just ranked a few weeks ago. So he really didn't have to take this debutante on short notice, a month early from when he was going to fight, but he said yes, so let's see how he does. Let's see if he can keep his job, kind of on the same boat as Ricky Simón is. He's a veteran who needs a win after a bad losing streak. Let's see if he can get it. To talk about his opponent, the debuting Julius Walker, the other Jay Walker in the light heavyweight division now. Walker is 6-0 in his MMA career, made his debut. His last fight was in December, beating Myron Dennis for the fucking peak fighting bout. He beat Devon Lewis, who was in the UFC at one point, but he was awful. So you take that as you will. Not a lot I could say about Walker. I've never heard of him until he got this fight book last week, so take that as you will. We'll see how he does. He's 25 years old, 6-0, coming from Team Fusion. We'll see how he does. Never went to decision, only went to round 2 one time in his career. He seems like all his fights end on the ground, which is intriguing. We'll see what happens. I don't think this fight's gonna go long. I think someone might be put down early, so let's see what happens, man. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued, so let's see what happens. We'll see if Julius can come in and beat the formerly ranked Alonzo Menifield. The betting on first fight, you have Alonzo Menifield minus 170 to plus 140. I would probably have it down a little bit to maybe minus 150, 140 even. Menifield, again, 2-fight losing streak at 37 years old against fighting a 12-year younger debuting guy. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting. I think Walker is the best underdog on the card, it seems like. He's the only one who I could actually make a case for picking, like, realistically, not counting Austin Vanderford. Because that's just me being silly. I'm leaning Walker here. I've not heard a lot about him. I've not watched any breakdowns on the card yet. I'm going to soon. But he has some hype on him, and Menifield is very beatable if he fights stupid like he usually does. So, and Walker is motivated, debuting. He seems like a nice guy on Twitter. I've interacted with him a few times. He seems nice. He seems ready. I'm intrigued, man. I'm very intrigued to see what Julius can do here against on a very bad skid right at the moment, Alonzo Menifield. So I'm intrigued. I'm very excited. I'm intrigued, and let's see what happens. Who am I picking? I'll go to debutant. Give me Julius Walker. I think he's going to. I think there's a high chance he's gonna spoil the betting odds here. I think he's gonna come in here and take the W. I think he's going to win his debut. It's a risky pick. It's a very risky pick. But I just have a feeling, man. I have a feeling Menifield is not that great at times, but he's also good at times. It's weird. Walker is 6-0, motivated. Menifield's on 2-fight skid at 37 years old. Give me Julius Walker he's gonna finish it early. This fight's gonna end in the first 2 rounds. And more than likely round 1. I'm leaning Walker knockout in the first or second. I don't think he submits him. I know he can do submissions, but I don't think he's gonna want. He wants that finish. I think I'm leaning first round. Yeah, I just don't see second round. I just don't, because if it goes to second round, even with as bad as Menifield's cardio is, he's the veteran. He's been to round 2. He's won decisions. So, give me Julius Walker by knockout in the first. If the pressure doesn't get to him, if the moment doesn't get to him, and he can fight at his best, I think he could take it. So, give me Julius Walker by knockout in the first. Risky pick. I know, very risky, but I just have a feeling, man. I have a feeling he can come in here and beat Alonzo, who's on a bad skid right now. 2 or 3 years ago, Alonzo Menifield, this might be a different story. But Alonzo Menifield at 37 years old, almost 38 years old on a losing streak. Give me Julius Walker by knockout in the first. Is that going to be a bad pick? We'll see, but only one way to find out. Put him in the cage, and let's find out. Give me Julius Walker by knockout in the first to begin our main card with a debut W. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, a fight I am so fucking excited for. He's back, finally, as in our second fight of, now you could say that for both these guys, as in our second fight of the night, we head to featherweight for a fight that's going to be batshit fucking insane, as we have a double return fight between Gene Lord Silva versus Melsik, the gun Baghdasaryan. Again, a double return fight here between two dudes we've not seen in a while. Gene Silva out for a year almost. Melsik Baghdasaryan out for a year and a half. What a fight. This is gonna be awesome. Even if it doesn't really make sense that English. Even if it doesn't make a lot of sense booking wise, I'm still excited. Gene Silva's back. That our favorite psychopathic nerd. Bipolar, it seems like, also, but well, maybe it gives him better fighting ability. It seems like it, because goddamn, this guy's good. What a fight. This is gonna be awesome. This ain't gonna go 15 minutes. That's for damn sure. And I'm excited as fuck. Let's go. Gene Melsik. Fuck yeah. We'll begin with our favorite fighting nerd, who's a psychopath, Gene Silva. Finally, Gene's back after an insane rookie year in 2024, having 3 fights against Weston Wilson, Charles Jourdain, and Drew Dober. Well, can you have Charles Jourdain and Drew Dober in your rookie year, knocking them out? It's very impressive. He's a psychopath. He has bombs in his hands. He does not care. He doesn't block. He's really good. He wants to stay active, sadly he has been out since July, but shit happens. It's good to see him back, man. It's so good to see him back after so long, especially after the other fighting nerds have been taking over. Prates, Kaio. It's good to see Gene finally back in. Let's see how he does. He had some time off. And he's ready. He's fucking ready, man. 28 years old, 14-2. This guy is special. This fucking guy is special. Just like the rest of the fighting nerds, like Kaio and Prates. I'm not saying Rufy, I don't think he's that good. Gene is special. He should be getting a top 15 fight here, against either like Emmett, Mitchell, Giga, whatever. But no luck after he wins this fight probably, so it's just good to have Gene back. Let him get one more quick win and get four in a row. Make featherweight, because he did miss featherweight last time out, and go from there. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see Gene back. Fuck yeah, man. Gene Silva is back. Tune in. If you don't know, now you know. Fuck yeah. I'm so excited to see Gene Silva back. If you talk about his opponent, another guy I'm excited to see back, because he never fights, Melsik Baghdasaryan. Melsik in UFC is 3-1, 1-0 on Contender Series, where he got his contract against Dennis Bazukia. In his UFC fights since getting the contract, he has went again 3-1, beating Colin England, Bruno Souza, and Tucker Lutz, losing to Josh Cutelaba in between all that. Baghdasaryan, I think, is a guy who's had so much potential, but he never fights. He's had 4 fights in the UFC, and he got his contract in 2020. And those 4 fights have been 3 tomato cans and Josh Cutelaba, who's not that good. So, very disappointing UFC career for Melsik, man. And it's always him pulling out, I swear to God. Goddamn. He just can't get in the cage. I feel like UFC's kind of punishing him in a way, giving him fucking Gene Silva after a 2-year layoff almost at 33 years old. So I like Melsik. I think he's been a very underrated guy in the UFC for a while, but at this point I'm kind of just done with him. Kind of like the UFC is. I think he has all the talent, but at this point he never fights enough, and he lost to Josh Cutelaba. Do you really think he can go far? So it sucks that he's kind of in the place that he is in at this point, but at the same time, stop getting fucking injured and pulling out of fights. So you have more canceled fights than you've had fights, because I'm looking at them right now, 5-4. Come on. So I like Melsik. I think he's a talented dude with a lot of potential. But at 33 years old now, super inactive, and now you're fighting Gene Silva in your return? Yeah, you're fucked. Good luck, Melsik. You're gonna need it. The betting odds for this fight have Gene Silva minus 575 to plus 425. Yeah, you could have him even a bigger favorite in my opinion. You could have Gene up to minus 700-800 in my opinion. He's my lock of the night. I don't know how he loses this fight. I don't think Melsik's going to be able to stay at range for 15 minutes and win. At some point in this fight, Gene's going to get on the inside and beat him up. And I think he's just going to do that in general. So, I really struggle to see how Melsik has a chance in this fight. He's a lesser grappler. He's a lesser striker. He has lesser power. Maybe kicks he's better at. Maybe. But outside that, it's gonna be, this is just a showcase fight for Gene, a welcome back, get a quick win, and then we'll give you a top 15 dude in a month or so. So, that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, we'll find out, but that's what I look at this fight as, just a nice welcome back fight for Gene Silva, so that's what I'm gonna look at it as, and that's probably what it's gonna be. And that's why Gene Silva is my lock of the night for UFC Seattle. So, yeah, not really much more I can say. Give me Gene Silva by knockout in the first, probably. I think he's gonna bull rush Melsik and probably drop him. To be honest, I think he's gonna just bull rush him and put him out badly. So, give me Gene Silva by knockout in the first. I think this is gonna go really bad for Melsik Baghdasaryan, and maybe I'm wrong. It would be a ginormous upset if I am, but I just really struggle to see how Melsik wins this fight, so give me Gene Silva by knockout in the first. Again, I really struggle to see how Melsik wins, and I don't see Melsik surviving very long when Gene gets going, so give me Gene Silva by knockout in the first. Not really much else to say. Good to have you back, Melsik. It's good to have you back, Gene, but Melsik, you're fucked. Gene Silva by knockout in the first. My lock of the night. Boom. After that, we go to the middle of the main card. Sadly, not Dominic Cruz's retirement fight anymore, but we still have a very good fight here that I'm excited for. And this is going to be interesting, so let's see what happens. As in the middle fight of the main card, the 10th fight of the night, the 3rd fight of the main card, the featured bout, whatever you want to call it. We head to 140 catch weight because this is a short notice fight, again, because Dominic Cruz pulled out. As we have Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto. Again, sadly, not Dominic Cruz's retirement fight. He pulled out, obviously, a few weeks ago and retired, which is sad, but enjoy retirement, Dom. No more damages needed. And Gene Matsumoto steps in, who was meant to fight in a few weeks against Chris Gutierrez, but now he's pulled to fight Rob Font. So, I think there's better options to pull for a quick fight with Rob Font, Montel Jackson, Marcus McGee, Eamon Zahabi. But Gene Matsumoto got the lucky golden ticket. Let's see if he makes the most of it. So, let's see what happens. Not much else to say. I'm excited for this fight again. Sadly, not Cruz's retirement, but what can you do? Let's talk about Font Rob. Respect to Gene Silva for stepping in, by the way. I wish we had a few more guys who stepped in on this card, but no luck. Enough of that. Let's talk about Rob Font. Font in UFC is 11-7. His most notable wins have been George Roop. God, he's been in the UFC a long time. 2014. Matt Schnell, who just had a fight book today. Yeah, I thought he was retired. Douglas Silva de Andrade, Thomas Almeida, Sergio Pettis, Ricky Simón, Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt, Adrian Yanez, and Kyler Phillips. His losses have been John Lineker, Pedro Munoz, Rafael Sunsao, Jose Aldo, Marlon Vera, Corey Sandhagen, Diego Davison Figueiredo. Kind of the same thing I said to Ricky. He's kind of like a higher level Ricky Simón. He's been able to beat some lower level guys, Schnell, Andrade, Pettis, Garbrandt, Simón, Moraes, but he hasn't been able to beat the higher echelon guys, Lineker, Aldo, Cheeto, Corey, Figgy. I've never been high on Rob Font. I know a lot of y'all love him for some fucking reason. Y'all act like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, when all he is a pretty okay boxer. I've never got high on Rob Font. I don't think he's that great. I think there's many guys better than him. Eamon's better, Montel's better, Marcus McGee's better, Payne Talbot's better, Fucking a lot of guys are better than him. I just don't think Font's that great. And I know he's still winning fights, but against a Kyler Phillips who didn't even show up, and a Adrian Yanez who's not very good. Come on, I think we're being silly now. Excuse me. Excuse me. God damn it. I'm not high on Rob Font, like I said. 37 years old now as well. I'm just not high on him, and eventually he's gonna just fall off to a point where he can't come back from, and we'll see if this is it. I was gonna pick Cruz to beat him. I think Cruz is gonna win, but sadly that didn't happen. Now he's getting a tougher fight in Gene Matsumoto. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see if fucking Rob can beat another prospect. That's what he's been good at doing lately. He's kind of turning into the Dan Ige of 135, so let's see if he can turn back another prospect. We know what he's going to do. He's going to try and box you up, and that's about it. Let's see how good of a job he does. To talk about his undefeated opponent, Gene Matsumoto. Gene in the UFC is 2-0, coming off Contender Series. His 2 wins in the UFC have been Dan Argueta and Brad Katona. Yeah, this is a little bit of a step up from those two, even though those are not bad wins. Dan and Brad are very solid wins for your first 2 UFC fights, but they're a little different than Rob Font. Gene is very good, but I don't think I'm not sure if he's ready for a fight like this. He's lucky of getting maybe the worst ranked guy, well, the second worst ranked guy at 135. Cause in his first 2 fights he's not looked flawless, but he's not looked bad. Argueta gave him a tough fight until he subbed him. Brad Katona gave him a really close fight. A lot of people think Katona won. So, it's been a very close UFC career for Gene so far. The other Gene, not Gene Silva, for Matsumoto, two fights in. So we'll see if he can prove he's legit here. He's had some time off since October, and again, he was meant to fight Chris Gutierrez in a few weeks, so now he's got moved up here. If he's ready and he's fighting at his best, he can win this fight. Rob Font's never been the greatest grappler in the world, and that's what Gene's really good at, but he can also strike, so it's going to be an interesting one. I think Gene could win this fight. He is very young, 25 years old, 16-0, very talented. Let's see if he can come in and take a ranking from a veteran. I think it's possible. I think it's very possible, so let's see if he can do it, man. Let's see if he can do it. I'm intrigued. Again, I think there's better options to step in and fight Font, but Gene Matsumoto works just fine. Can't complain. The Baghdasaryan fight actually shocked me because I can't believe they actually got it right. Gene Matsumoto minus 175 to plus 130. Yeah. I don't know if I would say 175. I'd lean more towards minus 140 to minus 160, around that range. But yeah, I agree. I'm picking Matsumoto. A, because I don't like Rob Font. I think he's boring. And B, because I want to see Gene win. And C, fuck it. Let's see if the young kid can win. I was going to pick Cruz to win. Fuck it. Let me pick Gene to win. Fuck it. Give me Gene Matsumoto by decision. Wrestle. Just take Rob down and wrestle. It's gonna be a tough fight. I don't know if he's gonna win. I feel like he's gonna leave this fight with some bruises on his face, but I think it's a very winnable fight for Gene. So let's see if he can do it. Gave me Gene Matsumoto by decision. I'm not very confident. I do think there's a good chance Rob wins. I think Rob could keep his standing and piece him up very badly. Or Gene can get him down, or Gene has striking as well, so we're gonna find out. A lot of things have happened in this fight. I think if I'm being unbiased, I think Rob probably wins, to be honest. But fuck it, give me the prospect, give me the youngster, give me Gene Matsumoto. Fuck it, why not? Let's have the 2 Genes win back to back. Can't wait. Give me Gene Matsumoto by decision. Oh boy, now we're getting into the to the gritty. We're getting into the good shit, and as we get into our co-main event of the evening, what should be the main event in my opinion, because this fight's going to be so good and I'm so excited, as in our co-main event of the evening. We have a rematch, not from the UFC, from the LFA, when these two fought young in their careers, as in our co-main event of the evening in the middleweight division. We have Brendan All-In Allen versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. What a fight. What a co-main event. How is this not the main event? This is such a good fight. Rematch from LFA 6 years ago, I believe, when Fluffy beat Allen. God, this is gonna be good. I am so fucking excited for this fight. What a great fight. What a great rematch. Let's see what happens. Don't really gotta go in depth on these two, but I will still talk about them a little bit, and we'll start with the higher ranked All-In Brendan Allen. Well, we know what's been happening with him lately. He lost to Imavov in his last fight in a very close fight. He just didn't look good and that was after coming off a fucking ginormous winning streak, so, you know. Allen is, just like I was talking about with, who the fuck was I talking, Melsik Baghdasaryan. He has all the talent. Just with Allen, he actually does fight, but he underperforms to his ability. We saw that in the Chris Curtis fight. We saw that against Imavov. 2 fights he should have won easily. Then a Jacob Malkoun fight he underperformed. Like, he just underperforms so badly at times. I don't get it. I just don't get why he performs so badly at times when he has all the skill. He is a really good fighter. His striking is fine. His grappling is great. He underperforms. That's his problem. His cardio shit the bed against fucking Imavov, and he couldn't really get the fight down, so I don't know. Like, again, I think Allen's really good. He has all the talent in the world, but he just can't fucking show up consistently. And now the UFC's giving him a fight against someone who beat him years ago. One the boogeyman of the division right now, you could say, with fucking Fluffy Hernandez. Good fucking luck. Good luck, Brendan. You're gonna need it. I think Brendan Allen's great, but goddamn, good luck. That's all I can really say. Again, if he shows up and fights at his best, this fight's gonna be really even and very good. But if he shows up and underperforms like he always fucking does, I don't know. I don't know then. I don't know who's gonna win, because you never know. You never fucking know. Well, actually, I'm lying. If he shows up and underperforms like crazy, Fluffy's gonna win. So, now let's just see if that actually happened. Why Brendan Allen's gonna turn into the best fighter in the goddamn world out of nowhere, so who fucking knows. What I do know is his opponent is gonna show up and do one thing and one thing only, and that's smash, as Fluffy Hernandez is that opponent. So, yeah, we know what we're getting with him. Fluffy in the UFC 7-2. Had a no contest on Contender Series, which that's kind of fucking impressive. He didn't start the UFC career great, going 1-2 in his first 3, but then that Rodolfo Vieira fight happened, and he's just been killing ever since. 6 in a row now, I believe. He's just a mauler. He's Fluffy Nurmagomedov, man. He takes you down, he mauls you. He did that to Frem, Bariut, Shabazian, Kopylov, Pereira. One of the worst beatings of 2025. Or 2024, I mean. Like, Jesus Christ, man. So, like, I don't, like, he's great. Fluffy is so fucking good, and he does have striking. Not great, but he does have it. So, he's a scary motherfucker in this division, man. Like, people don't want to fight Fluffy. Like, as stupid as that sounds to say, for the nickname, of course, you don't want to fight Fluffy. That man's going to take you down and make you fucking grapple. And yeah, I don't think you want to do that with Fluffy, so... He's good, man. Fluffy is really fucking good, and I can't wait to see, I hope, I know part of me wants to see him win this fight, because I want to see him keep getting those fucking big fights. I think he has the potential to get a title fight. I think he's that good. Do I think he beats Drake or Hamza? No. But do I think he could get that fight and make it an interesting fight? Yeah. So, let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. First, he has to beat Burndown again. Can he do that? We'll see. Fluffy Hernandez, we know what he's gonna do though, and that's grapple. The banger first fight have Anthony Hernandez minus 285 to plus 225. I don't know if I would have him that big of a favorite. I'd probably have him minus 210, 200, 210. Yeah, more than likely Fluffy should win. If we're being honest with how bad Allen fights at times, and since we know who won the first fight, probably the same way he won it. I've never watched the first fight, but I can highly take a guess. I know how it went. I'm guessing he threw Brendan around for 25 minutes. But I'm guessing. I'm guessing I'm correct, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just put on a striking masterclass. You never know. What I do know is he did beat him. And that was, 6 years ago. Now they're both older, and both have had really good UFC runs. But now it's time to meet again. I'm gonna go Fluffy. I struggle to pick Allen here. As much as I like Brent Allen, I do think he's good. I just really struggle to pick him here. With how he's looked lately against lesser opponents like Imavov and Curtis, how can I pick him to beat Fluffy, who is going to test him? I think Fluffy has better ground game. I think Fluffy has better cardio. Striking is going to be probably Allen's forte and probably where Allen wants to fight, but you never know. Yeah, Allen could catch him in submission, but outside of that, I just really see Fluffy probably doing what Fluffy does for 15 minutes, and that's sending Allen on the ground a few times and getting the W. So, give me Anthony Hernandez by decision in a very, very good fight, a very great rematch I can't wait for. And like I said, I struggle to pick Allen or even make a case for Brendan Allen winning this fight. So I like Allen. I'm okay if he wins, but I think it's Fluffy season. That man's on a scary run right now, and yeah, give me Fluffy by decision. Not really more I can say. Can't wait. Great rematch. Should be the main event. But what a great co-main event for UFC Seattle. And now, finally, after an hour and 40 minutes almost, we head into the main event of the evening in the bantamweight division. A very not interesting fight at all, because I think this fight's beyond obvious what's going to happen. And then our main event of the evening, our main event in Seattle, Washington, in the bantamweight division. We end the night with Henry Triple C Cejudo versus the Kung Fu Kid Song Yadong. What a weird main event. This should be the co-main. But, you know, whatever. Do I really need to waste your time? Like, Song Yadong's going to sleep Henry within 2 rounds. Like, I should not really have to pretend like I don't know what's gonna happen here. Like, this is just a bounce-back fight for Song Yadong after losing to Piotr Jan last year. So, I don't think I'm really shocking anyone by saying that. Like, Henry Cejudo should be in GFL, and he's going to be soon, so I don't think I'm really shocking anyone here. Again, I think Song is going to easily win this fight. Stop takedowns, let Henry gas out, make Henry strike, because Henry's a shitty striker, and KO him. It's pretty easy. So I don't need to waste a lot of time here. I don't think this is a great fight. I don't think this is a great main event. It's just a bounce back fight for Song Yadong, which is cool. I like Song Yadong. I think he's great. But let's be honest, we know who's winning this fight. So give me Song Yadong by knockout in the second round. I think he's gonna drop Henry within the first 2 rounds and call it a day. Again, the only way Henry wins this fight is if Song Yadong just forgot how to stop takedowns, which I don't think he has. So give me Song Yadong by knockout in the second. Should not really be that hard of a night for him. I think he puts him out pretty easily and sends Cejudo into the GFO draft. So, yeah. Not really much else to say. I don't think I'm shocking anyone there. I just don't. I'm not going to waste time breaking down a fight that is super easy to break down. Song Yadong, easy first round, or easy knockout in the first 2 rounds. It's not 2019 anymore, Henry. You're done. Give me Song Yadong by knockout in the second to end UFC Seattle with a bang. And a bang. What a great bang it is watching Henry Cejudo's head bang off the canvas. Can't wait. Song Yadong knockout in second to end a great night in Seattle. Finally, boom, an hour and 40 minutes later, let's finally start wrapping this up. I'll start by going over my picks one more time. Modestas Bukauskas by decision. Nursulton Ruziboev by knockout in the first. Alston Vanderford by decision. Javid Basharat by decision. Mansur Abdul-Malik by decision. Fili by decision. Ibo Aslan by knockout in the first. Julius Walker by knockout in the first. Silva, my lock of the night, by knockout in the first. Matsumoto by decision. Hernandez by decision. And Song Yadong by knockout in the second round to end the night. Bang. Like I said, it's a fine card. It's as good as it could have been. No, we still don't got Steve Garcia and Edson Barboza. We still don't got Curtis Blades. We still don't got Dominic Cruz. We still don't got Macy Chasson and Kelly Veda. We still don't got fucking this, and that. What we do got is a few interesting debuts, some fun-ass prelims, a cool main card, and a card overall I can't be upset about. So I'm still excited. It's gonna be a fun card. Gonna probably get some finishes. The crowd's gonna be rowdy. I can't wait. Let's head to Seattle for some fun ass fights. I'm excited. Let's fucking go. Outside of that, man, I can't think of much more to say. I talked for an hour and 40 minutes, so I hope I won't have much more to say. So I can't really think of anything else to say. Gave my picks, talked about the card. The only thing left to do now is watch the card, and then you'll hear me recap it on Sunday. So that's when you'll hear from me again Sunday for a recap of this card, which hopefully I'm praising, but you never fucking know. What I do know is that's all I gotta say about that. That's all I gotta say in this video, and I'm gonna stop wasting your time, wasting my breath, because I'm gonna lose my voice soon, and I'm going to close out this video like I always do by saying, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs always the goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm forgetting to say something which I don't know how that'd even be possible, as always, RX out. Good vibes only, and always.